A cockatiel bird farm is a place where these charming birds are raised and bred. This is often done by people who love birds and want to share them with others. Cockatiels are popular pets because they are friendly, intelligent, and relatively easy to care for. They can learn to whistle tunes and sometimes even mimic words. A farm can range in size from a small-scale hobby setup in a spare room to a large commercial aviary with hundreds of birds. The primary goal is to provide a healthy and happy environment for the cockatiels to live and produce healthy offspring. This venture requires a genuine passion for aviculture, as the well-being of the birds must always be the top priority for any responsible breeder. The appeal of starting a cockatiel farm is understandable. These birds, native to Australia, have a gentle disposition that makes them wonderful companions. Unlike larger, more demanding parrot species, cockatiels are a manageable size for most homes. A breeder's role is crucial in the early life of these birds. Hand-raising chicks from a young age helps them become tame and well socialized, which makes them highly desirable pets. A good farm focuses on quality over quantity. It ensures that each bird is healthy, well-adjusted, and ready for a new home. This commitment to quality is what builds a good reputation for a breeder over time. Before you begin, it is important to understand what this business involves. It is more than just putting two birds together and waiting for eggs. It requires knowledge of cockatiel genetics to produce specific color mutations, which can be very popular. You need to understand their dietary needs, their social behaviors, and their health requirements. A successful farm is a carefully managed ecosystem. Every detail, from the type of food provided to the design of the nesting boxes, plays a part in the overall success of the breeding program. It is a rewarding endeavor, but it demands dedication and a willingness to learn continuously about these fascinating creatures. The decision to start a cockatiel farm should not be taken lightly. It is a long-term commitment. Cockatiels can live for 15 to 20 years, so the birds you keep for breeding will be with you for a significant amount of time. The daily tasks of feeding, cleaning, and interacting with the birds require consistent effort. There will be joyful moments, like seeing the first chick hatch, but there can also be challenges, such as dealing with illness or infertile eggs. A potential breeder must be prepared for both the highs and the lows. This business is best suited for individuals who find genuine fulfillment in the process of caring for and raising these wonderful birds. The first step in setting up your farm is securing the right space. You will need a dedicated area that is safe, well ventilated, and protected from extreme temperatures and predators. A spare room, a basement, or a well-built outdoor shed can work well. The space must have good lighting, preferably with access to natural light, which is important for the bird's health. It also needs to be easy to clean, as hygiene is critical to preventing disease. Consider how you will control noise, as a group of cockatiels can be quite vocal, especially in the morning and evening. Planning your space carefully from the start will save you a lot of trouble later on. Once you have the space, you need the proper housing. Cages are the most significant initial investment. For breeding pairs, you will need individual breeding cages. These should be spacious enough for the pair to move around comfortably and should include a nesting box. A good size for a breeding cage is at least 24 inches long, 18 inches deep, and 18 inches high. You will also need larger flight cages where young birds can exercise and socialize after they have weaned. The bar spacing on all cages must be appropriate for cockatiels, typically no more than 5/8 of an inch, to prevent them from getting their heads stuck. Next, you must acquire your foundation breeding stock. It is vital to start with healthy, unrelated birds from a reputable source. Avoid buying birds from unknown sellers, as they may have health or genetic problems. Start with a few pairs, perhaps 2 or 3, to learn the process before expanding. Look for birds that are active, with bright eyes and clean feathers. You can choose to focus on the standard grey cockatiel or specialize in specific color mutations like Lutino, Pied, or Cinnamon. These color variations often fetch higher prices, but may require more knowledge of genetics to produce consistently. Finally, you will need various pieces of equipment and supplies. This includes high-quality food bowls and water bottles for each cage. You will also need perches of different sizes and textures to promote good foot health, Nesting boxes and suitable nesting material like pine shavings or shredded paper are essential for breeding. Other important items include cleaning supplies, first aid kits for birds, and possibly an incubator for eggs that are not being cared for by the parents. Having all these items ready before your birds arrive will ensure a smooth start to your cockatiel farming journey. The largest and most consistent maintenance cost will be food. Cockatiels require a varied and nutritious diet to stay healthy and productive. A high-quality pelleted diet should form the base of their food supply. This provides balanced nutrition that a seed-only diet lacks. In addition to pellets, they should receive a daily mix of fresh vegetables such as leafy greens, carrots, and sweet potatoes. A small amount of a good seed mix can be given as a treat. For breeding pairs and growing chicks, you will also need to provide egg food or other protein-rich supplements. A monthly food bill for a small farm with 10 birds could easily be $50 to $100, depending on the quality of the food you choose. Healthcare is another critical expense that must be budgeted for. While cockatiels are generally hardy, they can still get sick. It is wise to find an avian veterinarian in your area before you even need one. You should plan for annual checkups for your breeding birds. Unexpected illnesses or injuries can lead to costly vet bills, so it is a good idea to have an emergency fund set aside. This fund should cover potential lab tests, medications, or other treatments. You might spend a few $100s per year on routine care, but an emergency could cost significantly more. Proactive care and excellent hygiene are the best ways to minimize these costs. The cost of supplies for cage maintenance and cleanliness is also a regular expense. You will need to purchase cage liners or bedding, such as newspaper or paper towels, which need to be changed daily. Safe cleaning solutions for disinfecting cages, perches, and toys are also necessary. Perches and toys wear out over time and will need to be replaced to keep the birds stimulated and their environment safe. Water bottles and food dishes need to be cleaned thoroughly every day. These costs might seem small individually, but they add up over a year. Expect to spend around $20 to $40 per month on these essential cleaning and enrichment supplies. Finally, do not forget to factor in utility costs. If your aviary is in a separate building or a dedicated room, you may see an increase in your electricity bill. This is especially true if you need to provide supplemental lighting or heating during colder months to maintain a stable temperature for the birds. A consistent temperature of around 65 to 80 degrees Fahrenheit is ideal. Good ventilation is also important, which might require running fans. Water usage will also increase slightly due to the daily cleaning of cages and dishes. These utility costs can add another $30 to $60 or more to your monthly expenses, depending on your climate and setup. The primary way to make money from a cockatiel farm is by selling the birds themselves. The price of a cockatiel can vary greatly depending on several factors. A standard grey cockatiel that has been raised by its parents might sell for $100 to $150. However, a hand-fed chick, which is much tamer and more socialized, will command a higher price, often between $200 and $300. The biggest profits come from rare or desirable color mutations. A cockatiel with a unique color pattern could sell for $300 to $500 or even more to other breeders or enthusiasts. Building a reputation for producing healthy, well-socialized birds is key to being able to ask for these higher prices. Another potential source of income is selling fertile eggs. This is generally a smaller market and is usually limited to selling to other experienced breeders who have incubators and the skills to raise chicks from hatching. Selling eggs can be less work than raising the chicks yourself, but it also comes with risks. The eggs are fragile and shipping them can be difficult. There is no guarantee that they will hatch after being transported. Because of this, profits from selling eggs are often less reliable than selling live birds. This is usually considered a supplementary income stream rather than a primary one for most small-scale farmers. You can also generate revenue by selling supplies to your customers. When someone buys a bird from you, they will also need a cage, food, toys, and other accessories. You can purchase these items wholesale and sell them for a retail price. This provides a convenient one-stop shop for your buyers and adds another layer to your business profits. For example, You could put together a starter kit that includes a suitable cage, a bag of the food the bird is used to, and a few favorite toys. This not only increases your sales, but also ensures the bird is going to a new home that is properly equipped from day one. Ultimately, the profitability of a cockatiel farm depends on your ability to manage costs and maximize sales. A small farm with 5 breeding pairs could produce around 20 to 40 chicks per year. If you sell these chicks as hand-fed pets for an average of $250 each, your potential gross income could be between $5,000 and $10,000. After subtracting your annual costs for food, supplies and vet care, which might be around $2,000 to $4,000, your net profit could be modest. The business is scalable, but it requires significant time and effort. It is a good idea for those who are passionate about birds first and foremost, as the financial rewards are often secondary to the joy of raising these wonderful animals.